Hey guys, welcome back to today's Dazzled or Disappointed featuring the new Fenty Holiday 2018 collection. I actually picked up two products. I know there is a whole lot going on with this holiday collection, but I picked up the two products that I felt like I was gravitating to more, and so I have tried these out. I've tested them, I've played with them, and I've got thoughts for you. I'm going to put on the highlighter with you. I'm not wearing any highlighter today, and so that way you can see how it applies. So if you're interested in seeing if these bad boys, specifically the palette and one of the lipstick sets, is right for you, then just keep on watching. So the theme of Rihanna's holiday collection this year is Chill Out, and out is spelled O-W-T, and I think that's really, really cute. I think the packaging is kind of right in theme with that because it is a chill type of look, like a very icy, frosty type of look, and I think it's really, really pretty. It reminds me of like the Ice Queen. What was that character from? Was it Snow White, the real life Snow White movies? I don't even remember. Anyways, so the packaging, very holiday-esque, very, very pretty. Let me first take you into the Sephora description, prices, all of that. So first off, the palette itself, well, that's the box. The palette itself retails for $54. It is obviously limited edition. You get 7 pans of product at 0.1 ounces each or 2.8 grams. Let's see, you have a limited edition palette of 7 all-new hypermetallic Killawatt foil highlighters in a range of frost-inspired shades designed to make all skin tones pop. Who says fire and ice don't mix? The Killawatt foil Freestyle highlighter palette brings together 7 all-new, never-before-seen metallic highlighter shades. Get frosted in stone-cold lavenders and icy blues, or heat up in fiery coppers and tangerines. With intense metallic edge, each rule-defying hue looks equally killer on all skin tones. Take a cue from Rihanna's personal highlighting technique and rev up your glow with unexpected pops of chrome color. Now, you know, if you don't know, recently, I would say within the past few months, most recently with her summer collection, she had come out with some different hues of highlight in her Killawatt format. And what she had said was, you know, kind of step outside your boundaries, outside your comfort zone for highlighters. It doesn't always have to be the standard like champagne shade, gold shade. Like you can do other shades just because makeup is so creative, and nowadays it's kind of like, you know, makeup kind of goes outside those boundaries. Let's see, it says, Rihanna's no-limit approach to highlighting is all about layering luminizer to create colorful dimension from the cheeks to the eyes to the temples, blurring the line where your highlight begins and eyeshadow ends. Like the best-selling Killawatt you know and love, Killawatt foil keeps skin lit beyond sundown with its weightless longwear formula, a cream powder hybrid that instantly melts into skin and blends with almost zero effort. It's also loaded with extra fine, ultra smooth shimmer to make all your hyper metallic gleams come true. So that is what we've got there. It is $54. And for reference, the palette is made in Canada. So when you open this bad boy up, you do have pretty much a full cover mirror on the inside. I don't know if this bends all the way back. I'm kind of scared to try. Now, it's not perforated, but it's got the little seam to where it looks like it could, but I am kind of scared to try it. I don't know. If y'all have done it, let me know. And then on the inside, you do have 7 pans of product that look like this. So you've kind of got all types of shades going on in here. And at first glance, you would say, I would never use that on my cheeks, because I have said that and I stand by that. These two especially, the blue and this chocolate copper type of shade, I will never use on my cheeks. Those would strictly be for my eyes, which I am wearing on my eyes today, and I'll go through that with you here in just a bit. So first off, let me take you through swatches so that you can see how they swatch, and then we'll go into other things after that. Here you go. You've got Scandal Ice, Chills, Honey Slope, and Coppin Ice. And those are the first 4. Now, these two obviously look a little more opaque. These two are the top, the lavender or lilac and that white shade. So those are more like sparkly. I would consider more to be like a topper if you're going to use this eyeshadow. But that is what those look like. for the last three, we've got Heartburn, Sub-Zero, and Stone Cold, with Stone Cold being that standout shade in the middle. Next up, I will take you into thoughts, not swatches, but what I'm wearing today and all that after here in a bit. But I want to kind of go through the lipsticks real quick and not leave that to the end. Kind of just want to do it all together in one shot. So here is what this is the one of the lipstick sets. It's called the not Summer Nights. It's called Snow Nights. I think her summer one, she had one called Summer Nights. Anyways, it is super cute. So it's got a little sleeve that slips off like this. And then it's got like a little cardboard. Now, I don't know for sure. I don't know if this is supposed to mimic like a cigarette box or something. I'm not sure. But it kind of opens up like this and you've got your lipsticks right here. Now, the box is very, very sturdy. It feels very, I don't know, it feels very durable. It's not like some flimsy cardboard, like it's legit good quality. So let me pull these bad boys out to give you swatches and I will be back shortly. Real quick, the lipsticks look like this. They do look like, you know, again, icy, frosty, and it's an ombre from silver to blue. It's really, really pretty. So let me swatch these on the back of my hand and I'll be right back. So here we've got the three lipsticks. For reference, this one right here, if you've seen Rihanna's promo picture, that is the one she is wearing in her promo pic. But starting from the blue down here, you've got No Chill. The middle is called Frost Sauce, and the last one is called Fog Snog right there. And they just look very, very like out of comfort zone type thing, especially the blue, but they are very holiday-esque in the sense of their sparkle factor, the metallic factor. The other set had what seemed to be a corally pink, a gold, and an orange. Very, very pretty as well, but I did not pick that one up. I didn't think they would be as flattering on my skin tone, but now that we've gone through swatches, obviously this is what I'm wearing on my lips today. It's the one called No Chill. It is the blue and does look very frosty. I feel like I'm in a movie or something, like, again, like Ice Queen or something. So let's first go into what I'm wearing on my eyes and then we'll put on these highlights. We'll do a couple of different ones so that you can see how they perform. I used everything from this palette for my eyes today. I did not supplement, just so that you could kind of see how it worked. However, I would highly recommend that if you use this for your eyes, you do supplement other shades from another palette, specifically some matte shades, because obviously these are Killawatts. They're not going to be any type of matte in here. So first off, I am wearing the orangey shade called Honey Slope in my crease. It has a very strong sheen, so it did not look as opaque on the crease as like a transition shade, but that is what I used. And then on my, like, to deepen the crease and on my outer portion of the lid, I used this chocolatey shade here called Heartburn. And that's that one right there. I wonder why she would choose that name for that shade. Anyways, total random side note. For all over my lid, obviously, I am using the blue, which is called, let's see, Sub-Zero. Over top of that, in the middle portion, I ended up packing on this white shade, which is called Chills. And on the lower lash line, I again have this Heartburn shade here. In the inner corner, I have this lilac shade. Lies. No, I have the middle shade Stone Cold as my inner corner highlight. So that being said, let me bring you in so that you can see what I did. Okay, so again, that orangey shade, which is called Honey Slope, is in my crease. This outer portion is Heartburn. This Sub-Zero shade is all over my lid. And in the middle, I have the shade, what is this called? Chills. Right there. Lower lash line is also Heartburn, and then the middle shade, or the middle shade in the palette is what's on my inner corner called Stone Cold. And that's what we've got going on for today. Now, I do have you in right up close, so let's just go ahead and take care of applying this highlight together so that you can see what it looks like. So what I'll do is I'll apply one on one side, I'll apply one of the others, one of the like glittery ones on a different one. They're all glittery, but this is the standout highlight shade in this palette. So that's the one I'm going to put on first. As usual, I'm going in with my Anastasia A23, and this has been cleaned from the last time that I have used it. So let's just go ahead and grab this. The middle shade Stone Cold is probably my favorite in the palette just because of its unique color. It's also very, very sparkly, which I love. A lot of people don't. And it's very unique in that it's got kind of almost like, it's got green glitter. It's very... I don't know what else to tell you because mainly I see green. So let's go ahead and place this together. And like I said, it's very, very unique. And here we go. Again, I am not wearing any kind of highlight, cream highlight as my base, which I usually do. But for purposes of this video, we will go ahead and, let me grab a little bit more. We'll go ahead and put it on bare skin. So this is obviously going to give my skin a very chill out type of look because it's very, very frosty and it's very sparkly. Now I will tell you that this shade most reminds me of Sandcastle, which was half of one of the Killawatts from her summer collection, but that is what that one looks like. It's called Stone Cold. Yeah, Stone Cold. It's that middle shade and it is very, very intense. Now, I will also tell you that just like that Sandcastle shade from her summer collection, which is my favorite from her summer collection and one of my favorite highlights of all time, really, this one is just as intense. The only thing is kind of the same way as Sandcastle. If you go a little bit too overboard on a skin tone like mine, and I'm light medium, so if you are my skin tone or lighter, if you go in too heavy-handed, you're going to end up with like a gray dark cast if you look full or straight on. So like to here, it looks super, super intense, so beautiful, but it does give me, and I don't know that it's going to come across on camera, it does give me that dark cast right here. So you can either kind of mix a little bit with a lighter shade to kind of, you know, get around that, or just go in with a little bit of a lighter hand. This thing is so intense, you don't need a whole lot to get it to really light up your face. So that's what we've got going on there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the other side of the brush and I'm going to go in with, which one do we want to do? Let's just go ahead and go in with Chills, which is this white one right here. And let's go ahead and do it on the other side of our face. So again, really coating my brush, and here we go. So this one obviously is a whiter base. So on skin tones like mine, even deeper, it's going to look it's going to have a whiter look, and not necessarily that it looks like a white stripe because it's got a little bit of like a green shift. So it doesn't look like a harsh white stripe. However, it does look whiter than, you know, maybe a lot of y'all want to go. So I'm even going to put on a little bit more just so that you can see how intensely it builds up. That's already pretty intense there, but I will take it a little bit more. And really, I mean, unless you're wearing like, this goes with like a specific eye look, and it definitely doesn't go with the eye look I've got going on right now. But for something like a winter type of look, you know, that kind of thing, yes, it would look very, very pretty. But it is, if I build it up too much, it ends up looking a little too white on me, and I'm not a fan of that. So here we go again with this one. So that one was Stone Cold, and this one was Chills. So now that we have gone through putting that on together, I will, you know what, let me do a little on the nose. I'll go in with Stone Cold again. And I don't usually put this on my nose just because it is so glittery and it's got that green type of glitter. So I really don't usually take this on my nose. But for purposes of this video, just so that you can kind of see what it looks like and how intense it can get. So that's me with going in with like a really, really light hand. But let's just go ahead and jump right into thoughts. So first off, it's $54. Now, I think, let me zoom you out. There is no need to be this up close and personal. So first off, $54 is actually quite, I think it's a lot for something that you're going to have to tweak to modify your makeup routine. So it's not like this is a palette full of highlighting shades, because I really don't think it is. And I know Rihanna creates these things as far as like creativity and pushing the boundaries for highlight, but I can't do, like, I can't wear these two on my skin tone as highlight. I can't. Those would only ever be eyeshadows for me, which I showed you. I am wearing on my eyes today, but truly, how often am I going to reach for this just because of these two shades? Oh, you know what? I want to wear that blue shade. Let me pull out the palette. No, because you know what? There's just so many brands that have released this type of thing recently. Most recent, the Dose of Colors Desi Katie Francation palette. It has a blue that is like this in sparkle, and quite frankly, if I'm going to use a sparkly blue, I'm going to reach for that palette, not this one. Why? Because that's an actual eyeshadow palette and has a whole lot of other things that I can use within the one look, as opposed to me reaching for this just because I want to use one shade. Also, I hardly ever use shades like this as far as, you know, let me reach for that palette because I want to use that shade. That'll never happen. So for me, it ends up being more of a palette for these shades right here. This one is a little too gold or copper for highlight for me. However, I would actually use it as a standout shade for my eyes. I would reach for this palette for something like that because it's got that intensity as far as sparkle factor that I would want to make that like a pop on my eyelids. So I would reach for the palette for that. As far as these, I would probably use them as highlights. Even this one's a little bit pushing the boundary for me. It's a little too orange. So it's just not as practical as I would like. Is it beautiful? Yes, it is, but it's not as practical. Now, if you remember last year, her eyeshadow palette, it had a whole bunch of sparkly shades, and people were really against that just because, I mean, I loved it, but I love sparkly eyeshadows. But a lot of people were saying, okay, this isn't as practical because you have to supplement another palette for all of this glittery mess. That's okay for me because I'd rather have an eyeshadow palette full of metallics, foils, or sparkly shades and then just grab like an all matte palette, let's just say, and now I've got like the best of both worlds, you know? So I don't have to have a one-stop shop in a palette, but if I'm gonna buy a highlighting palette, I kind of want it to be all highlighting shades, and this just wasn't it for me. Now, if I could purchase this middle shade on its own, done. I'm there. I love it. Again, I loved Sandcastle. Hands down, that is one of my favorites of all time. And this is quite, in my opinion, quite similar to that. The only difference is that this one really has the intense glitter sparkle in it. But this really is my favorite shade out of the whole palette. But again, to pay $54 just because I really like this shade, and you know, those of you who know me know Fenty, it's rare to disappoint me, but this one I was a little bit disappointed with because of the price tag and just the functionality. It's just not something that I was head over heels on for every single pan of product in here. So anyways, let's move on to the lipsticks. Now the lipsticks is a very different story. The lipsticks perform beautifully just like their regular Mattemoiselle lineup does. Like they go on so like pigmented, their opacity is amazing, and they're so soft, and it's like one swipe pigment. I don't have to keep building it up or anything. This wasn't like 2 or 3 layers. This was me going in once and I thought, you know what, I will give it an added punch, so I added a little bit more to the middle of my bottom lip, and there we go. So these are incredible. I would actually forego this one to get this. However, what you're gonna run into with this is kind of the same thing. They're not as everyday, they're not as wearable for a lot of people, like on the day-to-day. You're not going to go to work. If you're in the corporate world, you're not going to go to work with this kind of lipstick on, unless you're dressing up for Halloween or something. But let's be real, you're just not going to. So these are not as wearable. These are more going to be my fun colors, like for days off and things like that, but they're not as wearable. However, I'm dazzled by this because I love how different it is. I don't have anything like this in my collection, and I was blown away by her summer glitter. I think they were like glosses. I love those so much, and I get so much amazing use out of those, and I think I'm gonna really love putting these to use. Now, the reason I didn't get the Snow Days trio is because I just don't like how those types of shades wear on my skin tone. However, if you are a deep skin tone lady, then I think the Snow Days is going to look so stunning on you. There is like a sparkly gold shade that I can just imagine popping, just looking so pretty. There is a very vibrant orangey shade, kind of in the middle between vibrant and like pumpkin color. So pretty. And then the last one is like a pink coral. Again, beautiful. And my favorite out of those was the pink coral. I loved the sparkle in the gold, but I just can't pull off golds as well. They just don't do a lot for my skin tone. or my skin tone doesn't do a lot for them. So I opted for this one, and I'm so glad I did. I love it. I think it's actually really flattering, which is weird because it's such an odd color. The only thing I will say is that this shade right here, the blue, does make my teeth look yellow. I don't have the whitest teeth in the world. I drink coffee on a daily, that kind of thing, and I haven't done the Crest white strips in a very long time. So these for me are a Dazzled. I would say if you need to pick something up between these two, now I have not tried the crayons because my stores did not have them when I went to go pick these up. But if I had a choice to make between these two, I would hands down choose the lipsticks. Alright guys, before I let you go, I want to give you the verse of the day. Today's comes from John 6:47, and it says, Jesus said, I tell you the truth, he who believes has everlasting life. Guys, it is my prayer that if you don't already know Jesus as your Lord and Savior, that you would just give him that opportunity to be your Savior, to be your very best friend in this world where everything seems to be falling apart. He's the one constant. He's the one thing that you can trust to always be there for you, to just always love you, the one thing you can count on. And I just can't tell you how amazing it is to have that feeling, that hope in a world where everything seems like it's just in such despair. So I hope this gives you encouragement, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this video somewhat helpful, at least if you were kind of wondering about these products. Stay tuned because more videos to come. I will see you guys very soon. Bye.